Bowl week. Let's start by checking in with our guy, Pep. Pep, what is going on?
We made it. We really made it. We made it to Super Bowl week, and I would say we didn't have any NFL football this last weekend, but we did have the Pro Bowl, if you're into that sort of thing. We did have the Pro Bowl in Las Vegas. The AFC won 41-35. In fact, Justin Herbert, the quarterback of the Chargers, was the offensive MVP. He had a couple touchdown passes for the AFC in that win. Maybe small consolation for the Chargers, not getting to the playoffs, not making a Super Bowl run, but here we are, Super Bowl week, Rams and Bengals, and things will get pretty wild this week as we lead up to the big game on Sunday.
I did watch the Pro Bowl, and as they say, and as Twitter was going bananas about, there was walkthroughs that were tougher than the Pro Bowl. You know what I mean? There was nothing going. It was flag football.
Pretty insane to give the MVP to a quarterback when the play was terrible. There was interceptions everywhere. It was just sloppy. Nobody seemed to care too much.
Honestly, maybe they should just do flag football, and I'm not saying that as a joke.
No, you know what? I'd probably rather see the spectacle of NFL, millionaires going out there playing like little kid flag football. Like I'd almost want to watch that more so than a game of, tackle football where you're not really tackling. And again, you're just throwing the ball up in the air and interceptions right and left. And 40, you're right. It's really sloppy, not very clean. It didn't look like a real football game anyway. So let's do something different. Maybe flag football. Maybe you should just go that route.
I mean, we always say, maybe they just need to get rid of the game and do a skills contest. But even the skills contest on Thursday, they did a little bit of a 40-yard dash type of thing, but, nobody cared. A linebacker won. Nobody seemed to really care anyway.
They missed the mark a little bit by making wide receivers throw and stuff. If you're going to do skills competition, do the quarterbacks are good at throwing. Do the receivers are good at catching. Do what they're good at. You know what I mean? I don't want to see Justin Jefferson, a wide receiver, trying to be a quarterback.
Right. Yeah. You don't need Hunter Renfrow to see his arm on display.
No.
And see, that's why I say we made it. We made it to Super Bowl week. We got through the Pro Bowl and whatever that was, and now we're actually to the final game of the NFL season, which it's kind of sad, guys. Man, I love football season. It feels like it's so long. We start talking about it in August and first games in September, and here we are, last game of the season. It should be a good one, and I'm sure on Thursday when I check back in with you guys, we'll talk more about the Super Bowl, maybe make some predictions. But, I know the Bengals are the heavy underdog in this game, with LA being the home team, I guess you could say, at SoFi Stadium for the Super Bowl. But I think it's going to be a good one. The Super Bowl always ends up being lower scoring than what you might think going into a game where two teams have pretty good offenses. But I don't know, something about defense always, rises to the top and when you need it the most.
First of all, I think America needs to follow Cincinnati's lead in that there is no school on Monday after the Super Bowl. We all should be doing that. We all know about Hangover Monday, so they have that right. Win or lose, no school for the kids. If they win, can you imagine what Cincinnati will be doing? But I'm with you. I think the Rams and Stafford can pull this off, but I guess we'll see.
I mean, it is, their second time in, the last handful of years getting back to the Super Bowl. So some of these guys are experienced with it. But, I mean, there's a lot of first-timeness feeling to this Super Bowl, especially with Cincinnati. LA, it's all going to kick off tonight out in LA. All the glitz, the glamour, Super Bowl week. I guess Cincinnati's not coming into town until tomorrow, so they'll be a day behind all this stuff. And it'll be interesting to see how Cincinnati, a team that nobody saw being in this situation, how well they handle it being so young in their first Super Bowl.
We are still on watch on the players, too, because if you didn't hear, Alvin Kamara got arrested in Vegas for assault. I mean, these guys got to stay out of trouble, especially. They got this game coming up. They got one more week. Can they do it? I hope they can.
Yeah, but, whether it's legal issues, COVID, we've seen in the past, guys go AWOL during Super Bowl week, right? They go off and do something crazy. We had a Raiders guy, unfortunately had some mental health issues. He disappeared from the team. Super Bowl week, man, I don't know what the teams have planned, but it might be, hey, here's our hotel. You guys are going to go to practice, and you're coming right back to the hotel. You're not going to mingle with anyone else. You're not going to be out there. You're not sightseeing. You can see your family after Super Bowl Sunday. Dude, this is a work week, and this is what it's all about.
And I know not everyone wants to hear this, but I mean, maybe it's a good thing that it's in LA and it can kind of keep the players from going completely bonkers.
I was gonna say, I don't know. I think that's the hard part about it, though. Is this is the first time we've had a Super Bowl in LA in a long time.
Yeah.
And part of that going out and being part of that extravaganza is part of doing their job this week. So it's going to be pretty tough for them.
Right. I mean, maybe with some of the COVID restrictions, I think maybe that can slow them down a little bit. Kind of like Cincinnati has gotten away with it because there wasn't much to do in Cincinnati.
Yeah. You're right. No, there's not much to do besides eat chili, I guess, in Cincinnati, I suppose. But should be a good one. We'll talk more about it later in the week for the Super Bowl. One other quick football note: the 49ers offensive coordinator, Mike McDaniel, he's going to be the next head coach of the Miami Dolphins. So we continue to see NFL teams lock up their head coaches. And I'm sure there's a couple guys, maybe some coordinators for both of these Super Bowl teams. We've already seen it. O'Connell from the Rams going to go be the Vikings' next head coach. You have a great season, and what do other teams start doing? They start picking you apart and taking your coaches to be their next head coach. So it certainly looks like it's going to be the case here with the Rams and the Bengals too.
They say to stay on top, it's the toughest thing. You keep losing these good coaches. It's tough.
Yeah, that's attrition, man. That's the NFL. Guys, let's go talk about the Olympics. For some reason, I can't find the Olympics hardly on. Like, I look for it. I just can't seem to find it. I'm having a hard time getting into it. But here's what you need to know. As we talk on this Monday morning, U.S. has 3 silver medals. I believe the very first one was Julia Marino slope style, which is a snowboarding event. So quietly, the Olympics are underway in China. No fanfare, no fans, But if you like the time delay and waking up at weird hours to watch events, it's probably out there if you want to find it.
Yeah, it's out there. Fake snow and all, I hear.
Yes, I understand. U.S. has had a little bit of a slow start. We're trying to make up for a bit of a slow start on the first couple of days.
That's right, but hopefully we can hang in there. I watched the luge myself, which is very well in the luge.
Yeah, no, but I think it's on like the NBC sports channels, a couple of those different affiliates. I was able to catch a little bit of curling the other night, some snowboarding, a couple little events here and there.
Skills with the broom.
Yeah, no, every 4 years, man, the whole country goes wild for curling, right? Something about curling, about, just regular looking dudes, just regular looking dads out there with mustaches pushing around the old stone down the ice. So every 4 years, we're all intrigued. We're captivated by curling. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
So it's funny.
With that broom.
It's like a drinking game, basically.
That's it,
yeah. It is. It's up there with like shuffleboard and cornhole and those sorts of things. And guys, finally, let's talk some NASCAR. We got the Daytona 500, not this upcoming weekend because they don't want to compete with the Super Bowl. They don't want any part of that. It's going to be the following weekend. But this past Sunday, we had NASCAR for the very first time at the Los Angeles Coliseum on the quarter-mile short track. And it looked really short. There was basically no straightaway. It was like a constant turn inside the Coliseum. But what a cool event. Just a spectacle of having NASCAR in Los Angeles, in the Coliseum. And congrats to Joey Logano winning this exhibition preseason race heading into Daytona 500.
It was very cool. And they knew they just had to compete with the Pro Bowl. So they were like, no problem, right? It was true short track racing in that tempers were flaring. There was a lot of spinouts, a lot of banging and rubbing.
And this was a quarter-mile track. That's the regular size of a track that goes around a football field that you have to run laps around. That's what these NASCAR, they were on that size of a track.
The shortest track in NASCAR history right
Insane.
There. It has been done, and it was a success.
Yeah, it was. I mean, and you're right, Patrick. It was all bunched up. They're swapping paint, and there was basically no straightaway. It was like turn left. It was exciting, and again, just the spectacle of being in the Coliseum. The host of the Olympics and Super Bowls, and of course USC football. To have it there, that's pretty neat deal for NASCAR, and pretty outside the box, right? To get people excited about the NASCAR season.
It wasn't even 4 turns. It was basically like 2 U-turns.
Yeah,
it was.
It's basically what it was.
And then for those of us wondering, hey, this is USC's football field. I guess they did lay down like a plastic barrier over the grass, then laid the asphalt so they can move the asphalt and redo the grass and have it ready for spring football. Pat.
That was my big question. Who's going to break up all this asphalt? Who's hauling it all out? What's the field? What the football field's going to look like underneath there? So hopefully once they clear everything out, it'll be back to normal, and Lincoln Riley can get in there and start doing his thing with the USC football team.
Supposedly, it's just like if they do monster trucks or supercross, which they used to do in Coliseum, where they put a big plastic barrier over it. Normally it's a bunch of dirt. This time it just happened to be asphalt. Break it out of there, and they'll have it ready for football. It's pretty amazing.
I mean, yeah, I wouldn't think that grass would do well under plastic and
No.
asphalt, but I'm guessing these guys know what they're doing.
They do know what they're doing, just like you, Pep. We'll talk to you on Thursday before we get to that big game. Pep, tell them how to get your stuff.
Hey, check it out, Inland Sports. You can check us out on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We got the Inland Sports YouTube channel. That is Inland Sports.
Thanks, Pep.